Hi there, and welcome to the Perfect Square Review. I'm going to go over this a little bit just because I feel like there's a little bit of misunderstanding with some of it after the homework quiz, so I'm going to make sure you understand it. Basically, a perfect square has to be a square that has equal sides, so it has to be side times side would give you a perfect square. So one thing we talked about the other day when we were doing this is if I had just one tile, it's a perfect square. If I had 4 tiles, it ends up being a perfect square as well because it's 2 by 2. So we have one here, another there, one here, one there. If you count them up, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number 4 ends up being a perfect square, just like the number 1 does. We also found the pattern that if you squared each of these numbers, or I'm sorry, not these numbers up here, but if you squared a number, it would equal that. Because we figured that 1 times 1, or 2 times 2, for my 9 I had 3 times 3. We said that 4 times 4 equaled 16, and so on. Then we saw the pattern that if this is true, then it would be 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared. So I think we all got the hint of how that actually worked. And looking at 25, it's 5 squared, and 36 is 6 squared, and 7 squared, 8 squared, and 9 squared. The trick was, and I think what kind of stumped everybody is you got this, you understood this. We understood that if we had, something like 6 squared, then the number 36 is a perfect square. But the problem was, what if I had a number, I was given a number, and I was asked to say, is it a perfect square or not? So let me show you how to work that out. So if I were to give you a question of, is 94 a perfect square? The best way to figure it out is say what times what equals 94. If there's two numbers that can be multiplied together that are the same number, then yes, it would be. So think about it like this, that pattern I was showing you. So we had 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, and all I'm doing is saying, okay, 1 times 1 gives me 1, 2 times 2 gives me 4, 3 times 3 gives me 9, all the way up to 10 times 10, 11 times 11. So you have to say to yourself, all right, I'm looking for 94. If I'm looking at this as like a number line, where would 94 fall? 94 is going to be somewhere in between 81 and 100. I can already tell you 9 times 9 is 81, and 10 times 10 is 100. So no, 94 is not a perfect square because it would fall in between 81 and 100. And there's no other number that you could times by itself that would equal 94. So let's say I gave you another example like this. Is 46 a perfect square? So again, using this little number line kind of that we've started up here, where would 46 fall? So 46 would be in between 36 and 49 in this case, and we know that 6 times 6 equals 36, while 7 times 7 equals 49. There's no other number in between that's going to be a perfect square to make 46. So no, 46 is not a perfect square. Let's try one more. Is 144 a perfect square? Well, now we're looking at 144. I stopped my little line here at 121, and we know that 11 times 11 equals 121. So now we have to think to the next one. What is 12 times 12 equal? Well, we should all know our facts, and if you don't, you'd have to do some side math, but 12 times 12 does equal 144. That would be my next one in my little pattern I have going over here. So yes, 144 is a perfect square because 12 times 12 also equals 12 squared. That's the best way to explain a perfect square, and then also with a quick picture, and I'll show you real quick here. Last thing, so if I have a box or a cube that I'm looking at, in this case I guess it's a two-dimensional shape, but you'll notice that I've got a 5 by 5 box. Because there's 5 this way, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 this way, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is a perfect square. And we would know that this is a 5 by 5, and its total square units would be 25 square units, because 5 times 5 is 25. Remember, if I had a 5 by 4, okay, if I had a 5 by 4 and I erased, let me get my green here, I got rid of this entire thing, it would no longer be a perfect square because now I've only got 4 by 5. So it's no longer perfect. So I hope this helps a little bit. And remember, you can replay these videos over and over to get a little bit of extra help.